Hello guys and welcome back to SteveKnows. It's good to be back for a brief moment to share the awesome stories that have been happening this week in the VR space. There are some pretty cool games, new Meta Quest info, some new things for us to try, some new VR tech, the list goes on and on. It is packed, so I think that is enough chin wagging. Let's get started. A VR sponsor today from AAA game studios offering Golf Vive eClub, an authentic VR golfing experience to up your game, offering realistic game physics and precision control. You can enjoy 3 18-hole courses played front or back in stunning locations like a desert or a tropical land. You can check out a driving range and practice your form. Enjoy some mini golf for some downtime with the family. Especially when you can combine this with the VR golfing accessories out there, this game can be pretty impressive. This title even has real-time data to provide you feedback on your swing so you can try and improve. There is even the added bonus of learning the lay of the land, as it has a drone feature that will fly over the course and provide you with elevation statistics so you can calculate your best path forward. They even have an application you can download and create a Ready Player Me avatar, so when you play online, it will add that sense of presence because you can see people. Coming on March 30th, there will even be another course, safari style, so you can enjoy golfing in the plains of Africa with a friend. A brilliant alternative if you can't make it to the golf green and you can play any time of day. Check out the game, I'll leave a link down below in the description. It's going to cost you around $30 or £23, available for purchase on Oculus platforms, Pico platforms, and Steam. So starting with HTC, they are pushing some self-tracked Vive trackers that will no longer require a base station. This is huge. Trackers are used to enable full body tracking in our VR experiences so we can map our virtual avatar to our real world pose. You need a tracking device and an external tracker that tracks those points from Vive, which can be pretty expensive. And as the industry is slowly creeping away from base stations, at least it seems that way, this is fantastic news. So these new trackers work much like the inside-out tracking solution already, with 2 high FOV cameras and an onboard processor that will use an algorithm to track your relative position. These devices are also 50% smaller than the previous models, which was even smaller than its predecessor also, so these things are getting pretty darn tiny, weighing under 100 grams per tracker. It's also going to support USB-C, and a user can use up to 5 of these devices at once. But the cherry on top here about this device is it will be using the openXR standard, so it will have interoperability, can't believe I managed to say that first time, between VR devices. So full body tracking by year end on the Meta Quest? Could be. They are now turning back the clock further from the 90s to the 80s, now back to the 70s. Pixel Ripped 1978 is releasing this summer and will be inspired by the Atari era. The title will also be published by Atari, which I think is so darn cool. And in this game, you'll play as a video game designer working at Atari HQ, and you'll travel between retro classic titles trying to debug something within them. You'll be playing games within games. There is even supposed to be unreleased Atari titles in this experience as well, so if you are an Atari fan, a retro lover, this is going to have some little gems in there for you. The previous ones were so nostalgic as well, I absolutely adore this series. Now, one of the greatest games in VR that won countless awards with its mind-boggling concept, this puzzler is back again with another Fisherman's Tale. Vertigo Games finally released a little trailer for this new experience that actually left me on such an emotional note. I'm not sure how they're going to continue that story. They offer new mechanics in this new title though, like a detachable limb system where you can swap out body parts that will offer you new possibilities in order to traverse or complete the puzzles. The devs also heard our woes about how short the previous title was, and this game should offer 5 to 6 hours of gameplay. The challenge here though, for me, lies whether they can maintain the same narrative that the previous title had and keep my interest engaged as well, because it's now 3 times as long. The game looks bigger, bolder, and like a whole new game actually. I'm not sure I would know this was a Fisherman's Tale just based off the trailer, except for the art style. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think the game looks brilliant. I'm actually really excited. Now, TikTok is under fire by the US government right now. You may have heard, you may have seen it on the news, which prevented Pico from launching the Pico 4 device in the US market. As they were literally about to release it, they posted something on Twitter, and then all of a sudden,
talk about national security concerns that you have raised, that we take very, very seriously. Let me start by addressing a few misconceptions about ByteDance of which we are a subsidiary. ByteDance is not owned or controlled by the Chinese government.
This will be offering a Quest alternative in the States at a slightly cheaper price point and has better specifications in certain areas. It also acts like a hybrid headset as well if you have a PC setup. So Pico posted on their socials saying, on the 22nd of March, something's going to be announced. But then all of a sudden Congress were like, hey, I want to talk to you, ByteDance.
The Communist Party is engaged in psychological warfare.
And now ByteDance may be forced to sell TikTok or leave the US space, so they are holding off the sale of the Pico 4 in this market at the moment. So please stay close to this news if you're interested in this device. It's actually a pretty big piece of world drama occurring right now because the US is a huge market and user of these applications. Now we have the Omni One. It is finally coming and being released to some of its early investors. This thing was advertised in 2020, I almost forgot about it. The design of this thing is crazy. It looks like you're held up by a crane-like arm that looks like it's from a sci-fi movie. It looks like it could be more freeing, but not offering the same support of the catwalk treadmill. They also mentioned that they will be rolling out this treadmill to the wider consumer community at an intro price of $2,600. So it is not a cheap impulse purchase. Me also noticed that they're using the Pico 3 in their adverts, where they will be offering a proprietary store for the device that would include around 30 experiences. So it's Catwalk Nexus versus the Omni One. Something new now for the Quest. The Oculus dev page has tweeted out stating there are some new dev tools. One is an SDK for haptics in Unity, and the other is a piece of software that you can download called Haptic Studio. You also need to install the application on your device as well, as they work together. I spent absolutely ages trying to find the dang companion. The documentation was terrible. It was also giving me different names for the application. I was checking all the different stores. And it turned out, I actually figured it out. It turned out in the top right, you click that, plug in your headset, and it will give you an option to install the application. That way you put on your headset and connect it to this app. And what this allows you to do, it then allows you to try different haptic settings for different actions and different environments, like walking on snow versus walking on concrete. Plus, you can change the frequency and the amplification and tons of other settings so you can get a feel for what that actually feels like and what it would be like in your game. You can even add your own custom audio files and fiddle around with that. And the end result would be you would export that and use it in game, so it can help you find grain and easily create your haptic files for your title. I would really like it if devs would then allow us to override these haptic settings, much like they allow us to upload custom songs in certain games, turning a bow and arrow to feel like a sawn-off shotgun. That would be brilliant. So if you want to try that out, I'll link it down below in the description. Have a little fiddle. It was kind of interesting, especially that you can turn the audio off and feel the haptic, and you have to kind of just close your eyes and does it feel like you want it to? And finally, a quick note of something Meta said at a conference, which is that they have 150 third-party titles lined up and agreements arranged, so new games every 2 to 3 days over the coming year, apparently. So there should be plenty of content there to play. But there is one question that we all want answered. Where is Grand Theft Auto? That's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Please consider subscribing and joining me next time. I hope you had a great week. Enjoy some VR. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.